Happy Friday, fellow Texans. It's the James Show, News Talk 820 93.3 FM, WBAP. I'm your host, James Parker. And if the White House renovations are getting this much attention, getting this much criticism, things must be going really well in the Trump White House. And I look, it's going to sound weird for me to say this because I'm starting off the show as my top story with this, but I could not care less about the White House renovations. That is like the least important story in the country right now. Among the least important. What Mike Traina had for lunch is a more important story than the White House renovations, damn it. You've got to be kidding me. So the reason I'm talking about it now is not that the White House is being renovated. I'm not even going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the people who are pretending like this is awful. I'm going to talk about the people who are just hair on fire. Oh, I can't believe, why would you do this? God, stupid, awful. This is the worst. Why can't everyone see that this guy's just awful? It's the most normal thing in the world. What are we supposed to build a White House? When was it built? Like 1803? And then I know it got burned down in the War of 1812 by the sort of Canadians. And we had to rebuild it after that. But what are we supposed to do? Rebuild it in 1814 or 15, whenever that was, and then never touch it again? Of course not. And so you've seen presidents over and over and over do things to the White House and put their little touches on it. And, like they'll change it one day. This room will be converted into a swimming pool for JFK. Well, then it'll be converted to the media room 2 presidents later. Nixon can put in a bowling alley in the basement. You can have Harry Truman tear down the actual White House, the residence, tore off. Look, and that's one of the big misleading uses of the English language in this reporting. They're talking about Donald Trump's tearing down the White House. No, he's tearing down the East Wing of the White House because they want you to think tearing down the White House. When you picture the White House, that's that thing that's on the back of your, what is it, $5 bill? But you think of, the stately manner with the columns and the windows and, that classic picture of what the White House looks like. Well, then there's 2 little covered walkways, basically, that go off in either direction. And so completely separate buildings are the West Wing and the East Wing. West Wing is where the offices are. East Wing, I guess, is where the entertainment complex is. I really don't know the White House that well. But they want to paint in your mind like Donald Trump is tearing down the columns in the front of the White House and this building that you're so attached to. No, this East Wing of the White House, this is pretty much a separate building. Now, it is connected by a covered walkway. I got it. But it is not the White House like what you imagine in your head or what the people who are pretending to hyperventilate this are imagining in their head. And if you want to know how ridiculous it got, I didn't realize this when I watched it. I watched the press conference with Carolyn Leavitt, the White House spokesperson, yesterday. Did you know she got 9 questions? 9 questions on the White House renovations. You know how many she got on the shutdown? 2. Just 2. What did she get about the Mideast peace deal? What about Russia and Ukraine? What about balancing the damn budget? Hell, y'all could have asked about the Epstein list or something. But y'all asked 9 questions. It was just back to back to back about the White House renovation. Something that doesn't affect anybody. Unless you work at the White House, unless you're a visiting dignitary and that after 5 years or whenever this is going to be completed, unless you're a construction worker who gets the contract, this affects nobody in America. I mean, absolutely nobody. And I am just floored at all the people that are coming out, putting out viral videos and doing interviews and talking about this. And I mean, it's amazing how much time MSNBC is spending on this because this is not news. But to give you a sample of how weird it's getting out there, let's jump into it. This is Representative Gallego. I don't know. He's a Democrat from Arizona.
Hey, it's Senator Ruben Gallego here. I'm in front of the White House, your house. You can't see it here because this president's so ashamed of what he is doing, and he's put up barricades as close as I can get. He's ashamed of the fact that he is tearing down part of the White House to build his monstrosity to his vanity and really a gift to all his rich, powerful friends. Meanwhile, right now...
Hang on, stop. How is this a gift to his rich, powerful friends? How is he building himself a new White House? I mean, a new ballroom. He doesn't get to take it with him when he's gone. He has, 3 years left? And this ballroom isn't going to be finished in like a month. He's really only going to get to use it for a year or two, if that, if everything goes according to schedule. So, no, he's not even building himself a ballroom for his own glory, for the use of his friends. This is going to be used by future presidents for generations to come. This is going to be used by anyone, Republican or Democrat. This is going to be used for visiting dignitaries who will have a better place, a better facility to have events, you know, when they have these dinners honoring the people that come visit and whatever the heck else they do in ballrooms at the White House. So we'll go back to Gallego here.
24 million Americans that are trying to figure out what's going to happen with their health insurance. What does this president care about? This president cares about building this monstrosity for himself. So make sure to call your members of Congress. Make sure to call.
How does he even know it's a monstrosity? What if it's just a normal ballroom? In fact, you saw the plans. You know, that's another thing you're going to notice through these sound bites. Listen to how many insults are put in there. Jim Acosta will call it, why does he need another gilded ballroom? Why does he need another gaudy ballroom? How do you even know if it's gilded or body? It hadn't been built yet. You can look at the plans. It looks like it's going to be a box, just like the East Wing was there, maybe a little bit wider. But the reporting around this is just absolutely insane. Hang on, we'll finish with Gallego real quick.
Your senators and remind them that number one, this is your house. You have a right to see what's happening in your house and that you don't approve of their demolition. And number two, to solve the problem, open the government and let's make sure that healthcare premiums are affordable for Americans every day.
The speaker or the minority leader in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries, says he's going to launch an investigation behind the financing of this renovation in the East Wing. What the heck for? What do you expect to find? So you'll hear that next and more just hyperventilating over the biggest non-story. And I think this is important because remember, the MO of the mainstream legacy old school media that just absolutely hates Trump is they go look at the news that happened today. Which one makes Trump look the worst? That's their headline. This is what you got? Things must be going really good. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker on News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. The ballroom critics are just clowning themselves so hard. I'm James Parker. It's the James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. I mean, how is this even a news story beyond like a one line, hey, look, they're doing renovations on the White House. Okay, cool. Now let's talk about the important things going on. Let's talk about the Gaza ceasefire. Let's talk about the Ukraine-Russia negotiations. Let's talk about the tariff issues we're having with China. Let's talk about how inflation came in under expected today. Or let's talk about the job market's doing, or the stock market's around all-time highs. And it kind of dawns on you, oh, goodness. They're talking about this because this is the worst thing they have on them. But listen to how crazy they're going over this. This is Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader in the House of Representatives, and he's going to get to the bottom of this scandal.
Any executive authority. And more likely, this is part of what Donald Trump has been doing since day one of his presidency, running the largest pay-to-play scheme in the history of the country, and probably soliciting donations from people who've got business before the United States government.
All right, so look, you know how he said probably in there? So he doesn't know. And he's just saying, this could be the biggest pay-for-play scandal ever. Pay for what play? Why would somebody do that? That doesn't make any sense. Why would Donald Trump or any president say, all right, we're going to build a new ballroom. We're going to get some rich people to donate to it. And in exchange, I'll give them favorable government contracts. Why? They wouldn't do that. There's no incentive for the corrupt president, if there is one. Like, that doesn't benefit him at all. That doesn't make sense. So even if you get to the bottom of this mystery, what's the worst case scenario? Some guys donated money to the ballroom and they got favorable contracts. That's the worst case scenario? Okay. So, well, at least we got some of that money back. But it makes no sense that there would be a quid pro quo. Donald Trump's like, ooh, I'll give you these favorable government contracts if you donate money to this project that isn't going to enrich me or help me or do anything positive in my entire life or for my family or for my children. It's not going to get a bunch of money to my kids and I'm going to get 10% for the big guy. It's a bold statement to say this biggest pay-for-play scheme we've ever seen. Really? What was Burisma? What was Hunter Biden's laptop? That was big. Anyway, I'll let him continue.
And all of this is going to have to be investigated. It will. All of this will have to be uncovered. It will. And these people are going to be held accountable, no matter how long it takes.
How dare you donate money to a public works project? How dare you donate millions of your own hard-earned dollars selflessly so the people's house can have a better ballroom? Yeah, what a bunch of evil people.
That's going to be the reality of the situation, and that's our warning to all of these people participating in this scheming to manipulate taxpayer dollars and, of course, to destroy the people's house. The White House belongs to the American people. It doesn't belong to Donald Trump.
Okay, so how would there be a pay-for-play scandal if the money isn't going to Donald Trump or Donald Trump's property or Donald Trump's bank account? It's going to the people's house. Okay, here's Jim Acosta. He was on CNN during Trump's first term. You remember that? He would sit in the front row of the press corps and just give him hell every press conference. Man, this morning he did some sort of streaming show where he is just so upset about this. What are you talking about? So he's just saying Donald Trump's tearing the S out of the White House. And look, he says other bad words in here that I don't bleep. They're all FCC compliant. Usually I bleep them just to be, super careful about people who are sensitive about such things. But this is Jim Acosta.
Donald Trump says that he's got all of these private donors who are going to come in and pay for all of this stuff. I mean, first of all, the White House doesn't belong to the corporations of this country. The White House belongs to us. And if we want to refurbish the White House, we the people, add a ballroom, add new bathrooms, a swimming pool, whatever, we the people get to decide. There's a process for that. But that's not really what boils my blood. What boils my blood is that Donald Trump appears to already be laying the groundwork to use taxpayer money on this damn ballroom.
All right, so in a 40-second clip, Trump got criticized for using private voluntary donations. It's the people's house. It's not corporate owned. There's a process. You got to go through the... So he was criticizing the fact that it was privately funded, and then at the end, he was criticizing the fact that taxpayer dollars might be used for this. It's like, oh, okay, so no matter what he does, you're gonna criticize it, Jim Acosta. That's what you just established, because you just established it's bad if it's private voluntary donations, and it's bad if taxpayer funding's used on it. Sounds like you just don't like Trump. Sounds like you don't really have an argument here. You're just trying to gin up people to, because Orange Man bad.
Donald Trump. We could talk about Joe Biden and this and that and the other thing. This is what Donald Trump is doing to the White House right now. He's tearing the out of the White House. That belongs to you, the American people. Joe Biden didn't do this. Barack Obama didn't do this. Ronald Reagan didn't do this. George W. Bush didn't do this. Bill Clinton didn't do this. Donald Trump, in his second term, when he's totally unaccountable, ripping the
We got it. Ripping the S out of the White House. Got it. And then here's another one. Why does Trump even need another ballroom? What?
in another ballroom there at Mar-a-Lago. Doesn't he have enough? Also, doesn't he have enough goddamn ballrooms? Why does he need a gilded ballroom at the White House if he has one at Mar-a-Lago? They already do the fundraisers there. He doesn't need a new one at the White House.
Well, Jim Acosta, in 3 years, when this guy is out of office and there's going to be people that come in visiting dignitaries that would like to have some sort of event or state dinner or reception area, they're not going to go to Mar-a-Lago. They're going to go to the ballroom at the White House. So this isn't for Trump. This is for the people. Got to take another break. Crap. All right. Well, I got a lot more sound bites on this one. Jim Acosta went out and did some man on the street. He interviewed a lady on the street that's sitting in front or standing on the sidewalk in front of where they're renovating the East Wing. And she's just apoplectic as well. And over what? Are you bothered one bit by the ballroom renovations or the funding or the financing or any of it? 800-288-9227. More on this rabbit hole coming up on The James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Hey, we're just having fun watching people lose their minds over the White House renovations. I'm James Parker. You're listening to The James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. So Jim Acosta was doing his little stream today talking about the White House renovations. And he took a second to actually go out yesterday and talk to some people on the street. And here's one lady who says she's just absolutely heartbroken over the White House renovations. Why would anybody be heartbroken over the White House renovations? Now, if the renovations are completed and you don't like the way it turned out, you can be heartbroken. But you're just heartbroken because it's getting renovated and you don't know what it's going to look like at the end. You just already know you're not going to like it. Really.
Jim.
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
I'm not one for symbolism or historical monuments whatsoever. I'm Canadian and American. I'm a dual citizen. This breaks my heart. It's so symbolic and so indicative of what this man has done to his country. I don't know how anyone, whether you're right, left, in the middle, cannot be heartbroken by that. That's the truth.
I don't know if you understood that. She said, I don't know how anyone, right, left, or in the middle, could not be heartbroken by that. By the East Wing being torn down and renovated? Whoop-de-doo! How is anybody heartbroken over this? Like, seriously, is one person for real heartbroken over this? 800-288-9227. This is Tim in Frisco. You're on WBAP.
Hey, James, how's it going, buddy?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Everybody's kind of missing the point on it. Obama did like $300 million of renovation when he was in there. But the point is about this whole ballroom, it's so stupid. What Trump is doing, he's doing his renovation for next year's 250th anniversary of America. That's what the big ballroom's all about. It's going to be a year-long celebration. It's going to be awesome. And all future presidents are going to really enjoy the marble and everything he's putting in there. So it's not for him. And it is private donations. It's not taxpayer money, as we all have heard. And Acosta, he's a whatever. He's an idiot. But anyway, thanks a lot, James, and I'll keep listening. And thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Wait, so this, I'm confused. Because I don't think it could be done by next summer, by July 4th of 2026. But I haven't seen anything for that or against that. He very well may be right. That's an interesting take on it. And what he was talking about there, under Obama, we have the cut from CNN when there was White House construction in 2010. And was anyone heartbroken? Remember, I don't know how anyone could see this and not be heartbroken over it. Well, here's CNN in 2010. Are they heartbroken or giddy?
Sounds like you're building another wing to the White House, but we appreciate you keeping your focus.
You can't even imagine, TJ. It's going to happen for the next 2 years. All of the banging, the jackhammering, the dust, the confusion, the noise of all places to do construction is happening right here, the front lawn of the White House.
It's a 4-year renovation project. Estimated cost, $376 million.
Yeah, that's what literally Hitler would do. We need to have an investigation into the funding. Andrew in Lake Worth, you're on WBAP.
Hey, so I think that this whole thing is stupid.
Isn't it?
Right?
Yeah.
Because you have the left literally tearing down statues of our history, right? And almost nobody is really taking offense to it. But yet Trump in his own home can't even renovate anything.
Oh, no. That's the people's house. That's the people's house, Andrew. He doesn't have the right to change it.
Yeah, it's retarded, in my opinion. And yes, I use the R word. Sorry for people who might be offended on that.
Yeah, well, hang on. I'll just beep it real quick. Oh, no, I can't do it after the fact? All right, well, too late. Here, let me just play a beep, and we'll all feel a little bit better. How about that? Does that work? There we go. All right, go ahead.
I don't think that the left should be really complaining about it.
Well, of course they shouldn't. But listen, anyone complaining about it, they just have Trump derangement syndrome. You know that they just hate this guy, and man, look at how deranged these people are. Their day is ruined by anything. Their day is ruined by the White House being renovated. Their day is ruined by illegal immigrants getting sent back to their home country. Their day is ruined when they see a Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ad. These people are just miserable human beings. You know what? Be miserable. 800-288-9227. Coming up next, Brian Harrison, the state representative out of Midlothian. He was on fire this morning. He was on Fox News talking about something another Texas state rep did that is pretty ugly, and you'll hear the audio of it and get Brian Harrison's response next on The James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 93.3 FM WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. A Texas State rep made some threatening comments here. I've never heard of her before, Jolanda Jones. So let me play this for you real quick to get you caught up.
I'm from the hood, okay? So when a bully comes, like, if there are no rules, you literally have to figure it out. So Donald Trump has changed things, and people trying to do what's always been done is not going to work. And I think that's why Democrats are losing black people. That's why they're losing poor people, because poor people, all they want is for us to fight. So if you hit me in my face, I'm not going to punch you back in your face. I'm going to go across your neck, because we can go back and forth fighting in each other's faces. You've got to hit hard enough where they won't come back. And so, for the same way I went to New York and spoke with Governor Kathy Hochul and said, if they're going to try to wipe us out in Texas, we need to wipe out every Republican in New York, in California, in Illinois. So no one can make me feel bad about fighting for the people that I represent, because the people that I represent need someone who's willing to go in the ring and fight for them. And that's exactly what I'm going to do.
I bet you my next guest has some hot opinions about it. State Representative Brian Harrison's back on the James Show, and I have no reason to cuss you today. So welcome, actually, this time. Well, and the studio audience usually greets you with boos. They're like, oh, it's freaking Harrison again. Going to give us terrible news about the state legislature. No, I saw you this morning on Fox News, the big one, and you were on fire about this comment, because this is one of your colleagues in the State House of Representatives, and she's in the middle of trying to make the big leap career-wise into being a congressman in D.C. instead of just Austin. And what are we going to do about this, State Rep Brian Harrison? Okay. It's great. Well, I'm going to push back on only one detail of all that. I do not think this was a Charlie Kirk reference, because when she said go across their neck, she did sort of the slashing of the throat, hand gesture that we do. And so she wasn't talking about the assassination of Charlie Kirk in September. She's just talking about slitting the throats of other Republicans now. So that's way better, isn't it? No, it's not. They didn't even lose their parking spot. Yeah. All right, let me ask you a question, and you're welcome to not answer it. What's next for Brian Harrison? Are you going to try and do what Jolanda Jones is doing and go from the state house to D.C., or are you trying to squeeze your way into the governor's race? Like, do you have the next plans? All right. It was worth asking. Thank you very much again, Brian, State Rep Brian Harrison out of Midlothian. I appreciate your time, sir. Coming up next, so there is the big EBT crash out of 2025 that's going to happen if the cards aren't refilled in November. And there's also a growing backlash to it. Now, I'll play you some of the backlash audio next on The James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Hey there, happy Friday. I think you're going to like the new backlash against the great EBT crash out of 2025. Welcome to the James Show. I'm your host, James Parker, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Now, we've been enjoying maybe too much the big crash out that some people are having over there. They got notices that if the shutdown continues, their EBT cards won't refill for November. And so we've been, having a good time listening to these people say, how am I going to feed my kids? And, the answer at the beginning was, haha, do what the rest of us do, get a job. If you really do need some help, you're just going to have to rely on private voluntary donations from, I don't know, a food bank, a local church, a food pantry, or some other nonprofit. And then that kind of morphed into, well, if y'all going to cut off my food stamps, then I'm just going to steal my food. And then it morphed into, yeah, we're going to go out there and we're going to steal food, and you better not stop us. And if the grocery stores kick us out, then we're going to go to your house and steal it. So this is like escalating all week. And really in the last 48 hours, I'm starting to see a trickle of videos that are pushing back. So now that you got the whole summary there, let's go through some of what I was describing there. Here's the EBT cuts. You know what? I've got 8 kids.
Dear Mr. Trump, I don't care nothing about what you and your little side piece, Miss Argentina, got going on.
Argentina.
Okay? Release my food stamps. I got 8 kids to feed. And we, the people of America, the baby daddies, 7 of them, they married with their husbands, okay? So leave me alone. Release my food stamps. I need a refund immediately, okay?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. All the baby daddies are remarried with their husbands. They're all gay after having a kid with you. I don't know. Don't need to know. Don't even want to jump down that rabbit hole at all. But here's where it started to escalate earlier this week. Don't you dare stop me.
Donald Orange Man J. Trump. I'm gonna tell you just like this. What the you mean? Who ain't getting that damn food stamps in damn November? Cause I'm getting my damn. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm getting my. Cause I'm gonna tell you just like this on Jesus Lamar Christ. I will be at Walmart.
Wait a second. Jesus Christ's middle name is Lamar? I didn't know that. Lamar MF, apparently.
With my steel toes on and my helmet, and I dare a try to stop me from walking out that store with my groceries.
Wait, if she got steel-toed boots and a helmet, she could get a construction job, right? She could work on a house site.
Baby, I'm 250 pounds solid. Baby, you want to see a human bulldozer?
By the way, she's more than 250. Just throwing that out there.
Baby, because that's what the I'm going to turn into. If you think you're going to stop me from leaving out that damn store with my monthly groceries that I get every damn month, I ain't bothering nobody, okay? Why is y'all bothering me and my food? Ugh, I'm just so tired of his big back, bald head, cradle cap having ass. Shaped like a penguin any way, albino walrus looking ass. I'm sick of him. Like, it's going to be an episode of Snap if y'all turn them Snap benefits off, I can tell you that.
I'll give her credit. She's funny. She could be in radio. I mean, she'd clean up her attitude a little bit. But she's wrong. Morally speaking, ethically speaking, legally speaking, all wrong. And so then it went from we're going to shoplift to where we're going to come to your house and take your food.
And with food stamps getting cut off next month, like I don't have a kid that eats like a grown man. I eat like a grown man. We like steak and lobster.
Yeah, you like food.
Yeah, we like food. We like steak and lobster. So I want everybody to be prepared for me and my kid to be at their house for Thanksgiving. Yup, we're straight. Yup, and we're gonna eat your food. Period. We're coming to your house and we're gonna eat all your food. Because what? Cutting the snaps off for November? Like, the 3-year-old don't eat like a grown man. So yeah, I just want everybody to be prepared for me and my penguin to come and sit at your dinner tables, because we need that. We're on that. We like steak and lobster. We like crabs. We like seafood boils. But we won't settle for the ham, turkeys, and lemon pepper steppers this year, because that's exactly what y'all will be giving out. Lemon pepper stepper wings at Thanksgiving dinner. And we're going to be right there. Lemon pepper stepping with a wing.
We better not have lemon pepper wings at my Thanksgiving. But this is some sort of weird sort of auto discrimination. I know you can't really be racist against yourself, but it feels like that you think you have inherent traits that render you unable to feed your own kids. However, other people in America, not only can they go out, get a job, be productive enough to feed their own kids, but have enough money taken from them to feed your kids too. What makes you unable to do what other people do? Are you incapable of it? Why do you have to go to someone else's house? And by the way, you come to my house, you're not getting in the front door. What do you think I'm going to say? Oh, okay, you with your kids, come on in, I'll feed you. No, get the hell out of here. 800-288-9227. This is Mark in Wichita Falls. Hey, Mark, you're on WBAP.
Oh, man. I can't believe it. This has been coming for years. When they started using the word food insecurity, you know what that means, don't you?
It means they're not even hungry.
If you think about food, like what am I going to have for dinner, you have food insecurity. So, yeah, this has been planted for how long? Way too long. Oh, and one question for you, if I can back up.
Yeah.
When this ballroom's finished and by some weird, stolen, somehow, Democrats will get in the White House, I want you to tell me what kind of party would happen in that ballroom. Spilled champagne, people peeing on the walls. Come on.
Well, I don't think someone, because they politically disagree with, is a wall peer, Mark.
Yes, but I can see it would look like a Portland rally.
What is this, the Big Lebowski? He soiled my rug. The rug peers did this? At least some housebroken. Coming up next on the James Show, I'm going to play some audio of now the backlash that is starting to swell up against the EBT crash out of 2025. And you're going to love this coming up next on the James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. You're going to love the backlash to the EBT food stamp crash out. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 93.3 FM WBAP. So you've probably seen these videos online where people are freaking out about losing their stamps.
I just woke up. I got an email from EBT. I used to get $740 a month for my 2 kids. And we not getting EBT no more. They took the EBT. They saying I gotta work 20 hours a week. I'm not working for nobody. Get the out of here. This is what Americans, taxpayer, work for us. They work for me.
No.
They gotta help me feed my kids. Get the out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't be quitters now. Y'all been helping us all this time. Now y'all want to tap out. Get the out of here. I want my EBT, yo. I want my EBT, and I'm not working for nobody. I'm a boss. What the I look like working when the government is here to help? Come on. Y'all send all that money to Iraq, Ukraine. Y'all funding all these wars. But when it's time to help the Americans, y'all don't want to help us? I need my EBT, yo. I need my money, yo. I need my EBT. Stop playing with me, yo.
You're not a boss if you can't even feed your own kids, sir. And if you're not going to work for anybody, that's fine too. We live in a free market capitalist system where you can go start your own business. You can be self-employed. You can go mow lawns or start a hot dog stand or, I don't know, make feet videos for all I care. But you're not a boss, and we're not threatened by you. All you people say, you better not get in my way. We're going to come to your house. We're going to take it. We're not scared of you. You can't even feed yourself. You're not intimidating. You're not cool. You're not accomplished. You're a nothing if you can't feed yourself. And that's neither here nor there. Just calm down with the threats, okay? It sounds absolutely silly. Now, here's what I like. In about the last 48 hours, I've been seeing a lot of people pushing back. Let me play a few of these. You're going to love it.
Now you're threatening us. Talking about if they get rid of the SNAP, but I'm gonna start stealing. Ain't that what you been doing? You been stealing, huh? You been stealing. We're not gonna talk about every time I turn around and look on the internet, y'all stealing in Walmart, you're stealing in Walgreens, you're stealing in CVS, you're stealing everywhere. What is you talking about? That ain't no threat. You been stealing. Let's not talk about the fact that most of y'all got Section 8 vouchers that are not even yours. You got 2, 3, 4 generations of Section 8 vouchers that you're using for somebody who ain't been in that Section 8 house in probably 10, 15 years. So let's not talk about, oh, you gonna start stealing. You done made a whole career out of stealing.
I love her. Is Section 8 corruption really that bad? I really don't know that much about it. I know 0 people getting Section 8 vouchers right now. I have a couple of friends that have rental properties, and some of their tenants are Section 8, so I know what it looks like from his point of view. But yeah, you know, I thought she was going to say you've been stealing like food stamps are this entire time. Money that is taken from your neighbors by force and given to you. It's stealing by proxy. It's using the government to do it for you. Here's some more backlash. You're going to love it.
You got people all over the internet talking about if they don't get their food.
I just played that one. Hang on.
Everybody mad. Trump about to cut off 2 million people off of food stamps. Y'all rushing to the food stamp office trying to figure it out. But you wasn't trying to figure it out when you was out here living your best life, going to concerts, getting your outfits done, getting your nails done, getting your hair done, but you got a full refrigerator full of government groceries. You literally you don't know what to do now. Time has frozen. Food stamps has parked. The ignition don't work. So that means you need to clock the out of Section 8 and clock the in the 9 to 5 real quick.
I love
Praise the Lord.
Love that attitude. Love that guy. You know, socialism has just crippled these people. You've taken the society beforehand where adults, as long as you weren't disabled, not only were you expected to be able to take care of yourself, you just did, and it was normal, and no one even noticed. But now we have an entire class of millions of people who are freaking out at the idea of having to actually provide for themselves. Isn't that wild? What we have here isn't even fully functioning sentient adults. We have eternal adolescents as wards of the state. My favorite backlash video thus far, I'm sure I'll find a better one in the next day or two, is this cop. Now, the cop only says something at the very beginning, or does he even? Yeah. And then there's gaps in here where he puts his face and he's looking like a very sarcastic face and he puts a caption on there. I'll just read the captions for you because how funny does this sound to you and me? No. How funny does this sound to a cop?
Yeah, watch this and let me know what you think.
So if you're at the grocery store and you see someone trying to survive, turn the around.
I can't turn around. That's my job.
And if you work in a grocery store, you are still going to get paid that hourly wage, whether somebody takes that food or not. Mind your business.
Enforcing the law is my business.
If you ever see anyone borrowing food from the grocery store, just stay in your lane.
This is my lane.
Mind your own business.
This is my business.
It's not your concern.
It absolutely is my concern.
My kids have not eaten in 5 days. It is the taxpayer's responsibility to take care of my kids.
No, it's not. This is Russell and Pecos. I'm enjoying this too much. You're on WBAP.
James, I'm enjoying it as well. Man, what a show for Friday.
I know. Isn't it great to watch all these people just be hit upside the head with what? Adulthood, basically?
Well, listen, I called kind of for a PSA for you and for all those people that need some money for Thanksgiving. There is no less than 300 jobs available in Pecos, Texas right now. There is no less than 1,000 jobs available in Midland, Odessa right now. And no, you don't have to go get dirty in the oil field. There's relatable jobs in town that you can do a job and you can make a very good living and you can have all the steak and lobster and crab and whatever else
Yes.
you want to eat.
Well, Russell, I feel like I believe in these people more than they do. Like I hear these people, it's like, no, you can take care of yourself. You're an adult. You're in the richest country the world's ever known. You can take care of your kids. We all do, or most of us do it. I've got 4 kids. It's tough. It's not easy. It's easier to just get taxpayer money, but you can do it.
And for that lady and whoever else, my crew of 10 men and I, we will be out here Thanksgiving weekend and Christmas weekend working to produce oil and gas so that you can drive to grandmother's house and have a good meal and enjoy life. We will have ribeyes. We're not going to have crab or lobster. That's we can't spend that kind of money. We're on a budget, and we can buy some steak.
All right.
And that's what we're going to have.
Great call. That's Russell and Pecos. 800-288-9227. The great food stamp crash out of 2025 continues next on The James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. It's your chance to win part of $5K a day on WBAP. Your chance at $1,000 right now. Pay off some bills. Just text LOOT to 95819. That's LOOT, L-O-O-T, to 95819, and you could score $1,000. Sponsored locally by Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. Good luck. It's time for Garrett's World on the James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. Look, I think I'm gonna spend the last segment of this show just reading emails and Facebook messages on the two big topics that I started off the show with. Number one, the backlash to the food stamp crash out of 2025 and all the threats that are coming with that, and the White House renovations. I just spent the entire break reading your emails and Facebook messages, and I think one was on X as well. Hilarious stuff. Absolutely, you guys are just really on it. It's a good Friday. You guys are doing great. But now it's time for you to learn a little bit more about what goes on in the mind of the guy across from the glass, the producer of the James Show. It's Garrett's World. Oh, wait, I got to load it over here. It's Garrett's World.
Growing up, my parents and I spent a great deal of time with my maternal grandparents, or as I called them, Nana and Papa. We were extremely close and would often go on vacations together. On one of these, to Branson, Missouri, when I was about 11 years old, we stopped at a gas station, and my mom and Nana went inside to use the restroom. I stayed in the car with my dad and Papa. Now, this car had a built-in DVD player, which came with wireless headphones. During the stop, however, I noticed one of them was missing. I looked all over the car and couldn't find them. Right then, my mom and Nana returned, and Nana gets in, looks at me, and says, "Garrett, you want to explain this?" It was the headphones. Apparently, they had slipped onto her purse as she was sitting next to me in the car, and when she got out, they were hanging onto its strap. She said everyone in the gas station thought she had hearing problems. I thought I was in big trouble. My mom got into the other side of the car, and I braced myself for the worst. But she started laughing like crazy. Then I started laughing. Then everyone started laughing. It's the small, funny moments that made these family experiences so memorable.
Why would you get in trouble for that? What does that even mean? Why would she yell? What was she upset about? Garrett, how long ago did this happen? You remember a trifling little story about missing headphones when you were 11? You're so wholesome, it's scary, dude. You're such a good guy. Because my stories are god-awful. My stories are like, oh, remember the 8th time Dave got arrested? And we, Bro. All right. That's another great edition of Garrett's World. If you have any response to that, 800-288-9227. I still don't even know what happened. So you had the headphones, like the ones I'm wearing now that have the strap on them, right? There weren't the wires. But they weren't earbuds. They had, and so like the purse strap. And so people thought that she was hard of hearing. Why would anyone think that she's hard of hearing? If I see a woman walking with headphones around her purse strap, I wouldn't think she's hard of hearing. I don't. I got nothing. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. If you can explain that one to me. Coming up on the James Show, I'm going to go just slightly into this issue that we have with the NBA gambling scandal that popped up yesterday. 800-288-9227. I really don't think it's that big of a deal, but I'm interested in the motivation of the Justice Department, and we'll talk about that next on the James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 93.3 FM WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. After this next caller, we're going to talk about this new FBI sting into NBA and this gambling scandal or whatever. But first, Rhonda in Burleson, you're on WBAP.
Hey, I just wanted to say how wonderful it was to hear Garrett today, because I know who his nana was, and she would not be happy with a pair of headphones hanging from her purse.
Are you related to Garrett?
I happen to be his aunt.
Yeah, shocked.
And I knew his nana.
How'd I guess that? Yo, I know how I guessed it, because every time we do a Garrett's World, someone related to Garrett calls in and tells me how awesome it is.
And that means what?
That means he's
That means he's got an awesome following.
What, the people he's related to? Oh,
And
well done,
and
Garrett. You won over your own family. No, I know other people like Garrett.
No.
What?
There's a lot of others.
I
have a lot of my friends that follow Garrett.
Oh, I believe you. I don't see them. Are they on line 2 or line 3 or 4 or 5? No. I'm just giving him a hard time. Like, he's excited to be on the radio. That's cool. The family calls in and they support him. That's cool too. I really don't have a problem with that. I'm just giving you all a hard time.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much,
Parker.
Rhonda in Burleson. Yes, Aunt Rhonda now. Yeah, so I don't know what I think about this issue with the FBI dropping the hammer on NBA gambling. If you haven't heard about this, a coach, a couple players. Oh, yeah, I'll take care of that. Sorry. A coach, a couple of players. You don't keep up with basketball, so you don't know. They're rolled up in a couple. There's like 2 different scandals. One of them is they were doing a card game and cheating at it. Another one is maybe they were point shaving. And Cash Patel came out, had a press conference about it, went through it. The NBA today has now suspended the players and the coach involved. But Stephen A. Smith, a guy who I predict he will attempt, and probably successfully so, to bridge over into politics from sports. But Stephen A. Smith said something that made me think.
How many times, for one incident after another, have I said, Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there, looking to engage in mass deportations. The Super Bowl, disrupting things. Don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you've got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have you, and to me, this is the latest nugget of evidence that we're talking about right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Tell me when we've seen that. We've seen people, we've seen accusations before. We've seen athletes get in trouble with the law before. You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference. It's not coincidental. It's not an accident. It's a statement. And it's a warning that more is coming.
Okay. I can kind of get on board with that. I do think it's a little weird that the FBI came out and dropped a hammer on what? Someone had a rigged card game? Again, maybe this is the libertarian in me who doesn't think gambling should be illegal anyway, and so I don't get all worked up about the scandals that happen within the gambling world. And obviously they were cheating. That's fraud. That should be illegal. If you cheated gambling, then yeah, that's illegal. But we took time out of Cash Patel's day, the guy who runs the FBI, to deal with what? Chauncey Billups? Chauncey Billups is the coach in trouble. Man, that does seem a little weird. And is more coming? I didn't think there was, but now that Stephen A. Smith said there was, I'm on alert here. Or WNBA, you're on alert. Something else going to happen? So I don't know if he's right or wrong, but that actually makes me think, because there is something a little suspicious about it. Because again, all crime is crime, and it should all be dealt with, and no one should escape justice if we have to. But can we get the Epstein list? When are we getting that? Is someone going to get rolled up in that? Is someone going to get finally charged and sent to prison for falsifying the FISA court documents that led to the Russia collusion hoax and all that investigation? Is someone going to get investigated and sent to prison for putting the pipe bombs outside of the DNC headquarters on January 6th? You know, there's a whole lot of cases that are going unsolved right now that I would prefer for the top brass of the FBI to be focused on rather than, a shooting guard for the Miami Heat screwing over some people in a poker game? Something else is going on. I think he's right. I don't know what it is. If you know what it is, you can send me an email, parker@wbap.com, or you can call in or whatever, but something's going on. I don't know what. I don't know. But remember I said this when the next shoe drops. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. Coming up next on The James Show, if you didn't already think PBS was hot garbage, wait until you hear them openly supporting a terrorist in prison for murder to be the next leader of Palestine. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Happy Friday, fellow Texans. Welcome back to the James Show. It's News Talk 820 93.3 FM, WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. Oh, no, it's good to see you, too. Good to see you, too. The story right now is, I gotta tell you, I can usually explain the stories I talk about on the show front to back and even tell you things you didn't know about these stories. But on this one, I feel a big question mark over this one. I feel like I don't understand this one a whole lot. Now, I understand the words that are coming out of Kash Patel's mouth, the FBI director, at his press conference yesterday. But where is this coming from? And why is this being handled by the top brass? Here was just 40 seconds of Kash Patel.
Individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Casa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese crime families. Individuals such—
All right, so it starts repeating there. Tammy on Facebook said, Stephen A. Smith is smart about a lot of things, but this is dumb for him to say out loud. In the previous segment, I had played him saying there's more coming, more directed at the sports world, probably the WNBA. And, you know, that's a strong maybe. We'll have to see. Jason in Sanger, you're on WBAP.
Hello. Yeah, I think that probably the big deal about it was just at the end of that clip, which was what I was calling about, is the fact that the mafia is involved in it. I think that's where they got involved because of all the nefarious things at the mafia. And if this is funding the mafia and all these other things, I think that's probably why it's a big deal. Not necessarily that it's NBA players and all that, but the mafia connections.
Yeah, I can see that because, you know, the NBA players and coaches are a lot more high profile than anyone in the mafia. But the mafia has a lot larger crime footprint. So if you're the FBI, I don't know, of all the stuff the mafia does, you're going to go after the poker game with Terry Rozier?
Well, I mean, it sounded, from what I understand, that these are big $1 million. I mean, it was like big money from what I read about it.
$7 million bucks.
Like,
they're alleged to have stolen. They're alleged to have defrauded people out of $7 million, which is a lot of money to me, Jason.
Yeah, but not to them. Yeah. So yeah, that's not as big as I thought it was. I thought it was a bigger number, but I mean, I'm guessing that they're just trying to break up whatever money is going to mafia, or maybe they're just trying to get some PR. Who knows?
Well, I hear you saying,
mafia
well, I
sounds
think
big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
I hear you, Jason. I hear you saying, well, I think, and we'll probably, and blah, blah, blah. It feels like you feel like there's going to be some more information coming out about this too.
I think so. I hope so.
Okay, great. Good call. Thank you, Jason and Sanger. This is Matt in Arlington. You're on WBAP. Hey, Matt.
Hey, good afternoon, James. Stephen A. is a bright guy, but I think he's out of over his pay grade on this one. And he even said it a little bit himself, that things are still yet to be found out. But what makes this big enough for Kash Patel to be out there is the fact that this covers 11 states, that it covers 34 people at all different levels of sports, and a head coach, and 4 crime families in New York. When have we had a sports scandal like that ever?
I don't know. I guess the closest analog I can remember is that NBA ref that was getting paid. Do you remember that fella?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That's the closest analog I've got.
And respectfully, I don't have any better. That's not close. So that illustrates scope to me. But the more subtle thing about this is, I believe the NBA is next. By getting in front of this and tying it to Trump, Stephen can have somebody else to pin the rest of the bad news on when it shows up. And politically, that plays well for Stephen. But I want to see the truth come out, and I do believe the WNBA is next.
I think, you know,
he's a crafty guy.
You make all good points, and I have nothing to argue. I'm just going to add to that. I would say, you know, the NFL is probably the most political animal out of any of the leagues. They're the ones who put the political messaging in their end zones. They're the ones that had the players kneeling. They're the ones that do the second national anthem. All right. Look, I don't have answers for this. So that was all good, Matt in Arlington. Let's do Pat in Burleson. You're on WBAP.
I agree with the last two callers, and I'm just going to piggyback on that.
Okay.
Yes, it's a big deal, but I think when Patel said it's what you don't know, it's what we don't know yet, because this was a message to organized crime. Organized crime under the Biden administration has gotten huge and out of control. You look at retail organized crime, it's running retailers. They're closing their stores. Big retailers are taking huge losses. That's another reason we're absorbing the cost of that.
Wait, what's retail organized crime?
Okay, it's all your organized groups behind pulling up in front of retailers and loading the cars with all the $2,000 purses, and they're running out with millions of dollars of merchandise. And it's organized retail crime. It's you've got all your retail organizations organizing to try to fight it, and they've got no help because, hey, it's not even a crime if you steal less than $1,000. So they're using kids to do this. Now in this one, I think the WNBA players are the suckers in this. It's the crime families, but they're breaking knees. They're threatening lives of their families. It's a big deal when you get behind organized crime. It's not a nice thing. So I think the bigger message that they're trying to send is organized crime, be on the lookout. We're coming for you. Organized crime.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Pat and Burleson, that makes a lot of sense. It's all about the families, huh? The crime families. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I can buy that. That helps clear it up a little bit. Does anyone, and I hate to throw out, I know some of you get sick of me doing my stupid libertarian nonsense all the time, but in this one, what would these families do? The Bonanno family, the Gambino family, the Genovese family, the Lucchese crime family, what would they do if we ended the drug war and we ended vice crimes and we legalized gambling and we legalized prostitution? Like, what would their job even be? Stolen goods? What would be left? Seriously, if you want to crush the Bonanno family, Gambino, Genovese, Lucchese crime families, you can take away most of their income right now just by going through. And I say it's a libertarian approach to statecraft. It's really what the founding fathers instituted. The founding fathers weren't anti-gambling. They didn't put in drug laws. They didn't put in prostitution laws. Prostitution, drugs, gambling. That was something that was in pretty much every major saloon or tiny saloon in every tiny town in the Wild West, according to the movies we watched. It was the most normal thing in the world. You take all of that, you make it illegal, you're handing it over to the crime families, and that's where these crime families come from. That's where they make all their money. So it's just like when we're bombing the boats in the Caribbean that are coming from cartels. You want to put the cartels out of business? Legalize drugs. You want those boats will stop running like that. You won't have to blow them out of the water anymore. I don't know. I know you're not ready for that conversation yet. I just like to throw it out there and maybe plant a seed. So one day you'll think, man, maybe Parker's not crazy after all. 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. Coming up next, you'll hear PBS shilling for a terrorist on The James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. I am your host, James Parker. Hey, let's stop in and do an update. I promised earlier in the week. Carlos Tercios from the Dallas Express was on the show Monday talking about what he saw at the No Kings protest, including some violence. Now, it wasn't anything bad. No one got shot or hacked to death with a hatchet or anything like that. But there were some, assaults and batteries that happened. They were caught on tape. They were caught, when I say tape, caught on video. There were police that witnessed it. And I just wanted to circle back with Carlos to see if there's been any legal action or charges or investigation or anything done in that. So welcome back, first of all, Carlos Tercios, DallasExpress.com. Thank you for your awesome reporting from last weekend. But in following up, has anything happened on that front? So, I mean, it looked like from the videos I saw, because you were hanging out, I mean, y'all weren't necessarily together, but y'all were both at the No Kings protest with Alex Stein, and he had a security guy with him, and there was a girl and another guy with him. So what all did you actually witness with your own eyes that you would think counts as assault or battery? Well, hang on. I've seen the video. You've seen that you were there. But for people who didn't see, there were a bunch of people that were wearing, he says shirts. They were like construction vests, like a crossing guard would wear, but they were bright pink. And so these were the people that seemed to be the organizers and the folks in charge. And anyway, go ahead. So they intervened? Okay, so he got pepper sprayed and punched in the face. These sound like crimes. Should we do something to follow up on that or what? Hey, is there any lawyers that can do something about this? Because I have no legal training. I don't know what your background is, but shouldn't somebody be able to go to the cops and say, we would like to press charges on this? We have it on video. We have witnesses. I don't know. I feel like we can still get to the bottom of this mystery, Carlos. And it's not so important that a guy got pepper sprayed in the face, so we got to get justice. No, we've got to show these protesters that you can't do this, because if you let it keep going, it's going to escalate. Just like with the ICE protests, they escalated until people got killed. All right. All right. Well, it's a very disappointing report, but an important one. Thank you for your quick visit. Just to follow up here on your work from last week. And Carlos Tercios, DallasExpress.com. Thank you, sir. All right, I want to play you this quick report from PBS where they were just tossing around the idea of, well, if Hamas isn't going to be in charge of the Palestinian state anymore, then they need to find a new leader. And who better to be the new leader of the Palestinian state than a terrorist who's in jail for murder?
As the fragile ceasefire holds, Palestinians are grappling with what comes next in their quest for statehood and who will lead them. The most popular political leader is 66-year-old Marwan Barghouti, convicted and imprisoned in Israel as a terrorist, but seen as a potential unifying force among Palestinians. Special correspondent Leila Mulana Allen spoke with Barghouti's son in Ramallah in the occupied West Bank.
Often called the Palestinian Nelson Mandela, Marwan Barghouti has long been seen by Palestinians and Western leaders alike as the one man who could unite and lead Palestinians to statehood. The youngest person to be elected to the Palestinian Legislative Council and a key leader of the Second Intifada. But he has been jailed by Israel for 23 years, convicted in 2004 of planning an attack that killed 5 Israelis. Many say the trial was a sham.
Oh, sure.
Hopes were high he would be released in the ceasefire prisoner hostage swap, but the day came and went, and imprisoned he remained. In a rare interview, the NewsHour spoke with his son Arab, who was just 11 when his father went to jail, about the campaign for his release.
We thought that anyone in their right mind that wants an end for this cycle of violence would see that my father represents a great positive voice.
Yeah, great positive voice. Look, just because you do one terror attack doesn't automatically make you a terrorist. Don't be silly, guys. Good job, PBS. Good job. Meanwhile, you and I are Nazis, literally Hitler, but terrorists who are killing people, they should run the Palestinian state. What could possibly go wrong? All right, coming up next, we're going to play Name That Artist for a chance to win Bryan Adams tickets. You need to call in if you can recognize the artist to these 10 songs. Yeah. There you go. There's your montage. It's the only time Kimberly listens to the show. If you want to try and win tickets to see Bryan Adams and you know some of those 10 artists, whoever can name the most of them, you're going to win next. Call in 800-288-9227. And for the rest of you, I'll give you the answers to name that artist next on The James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. It's your chance to win part of 5K a day on WBAP. Your chance at $1,000 right now. Pay off some bills. Just text PAY to 95819. That's PAY, P-A-Y, to 95819, and you could score $1,000. Sponsored locally by Mullen & Mullen Injury Law Firm. Good luck. Happy Friday. Welcome to the James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. We're in the middle of Name That Artist. Today, we're playing for 2 tickets to Bryan Adams. He's bringing his Roll with the Punches tour to the American Airlines Center in just, 3 weeks. November 13th. Special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. Get tickets and information now at livenation.com, or I'm going to give away a pair on the James Show right now. For all you people on hold, do me a favor, get out a pen and paper and write down the artist in the montage. Or if you want to pull out a notepad file on your phone, just type it in. And if you're playing along at home, just see how many of these you can name out of these artists in this montage. Go. All right, so there's your montage. Let's see if we can get ourselves a winner. We're going to start with Violet in Flower Mound. You live in Flower Mound and you're named after a flower. That's adorable. You ready for Name That Artist?
I am, but I'm ill prepared because I was driving and I did not think that I was going to get through.
Okay, well, let's see how many you can name. Ready? Okay. Go.
Okay. It's either Fleetwood Mac or Christine McVie solo.
Yeah, we'll take Fleetwood Mac.
Okay. George Michael. Paul McCartney. Donna Summer. Lisa Marie. Starship. And Bryan Adams.
And you know what? That's going to do it. Congratulations, Violet and Flower Mound. You just won. I know you didn't know all of them, but because you took the chance and you called in and you waited and you did the best you could, everyone else hung up. I guess, I don't know. Who was going to get level 42, Bruce? Who was going to, I even know that song. Yeah, that was the third one.
I know that song. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we've probably heard that song 1,000 times. I think today's the first time I've ever even heard of the name of a group called Level 42. So you're going to be rewarded for sitting it out when everyone else ran, Violet. Congratulations. You got tickets to see Bryan Adams. Are you actually able to go November 13th?
I am. I am going to make it happen because I am seriously like the biggest Bryan Adams fan.
Oh, that's
I'm not
fantastic.
Even kidding. I grew up with Bryan Adams. Yeah.
What, are you from Canada?
This is awesome. No, I'm not. I'm from Texas, but
I'm just being funny.
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, wow.
Huge fan.
Well, I'm glad you got the tickets because Violet, a friend of mine said, hey, I've got 2 of my college friends coming in town. We're going to go to the Bryan Adams show. You want to go? Said, no, I'll just hang out with you. Let me know afterwards there. And it's not that I don't like Bryan Adams. It's that Bryan Adams is so popular. I would be willing to trade the last 4 days off the end of my life if I never have to hear Summer of 69 again. And it's a good song. I've just heard it too much. There's that. Shook Me All Night Long by AC/DC. If I never have to hear that again, that would probably be 5 days. Actually, there's just a handful of those songs that have been just a beatdown. at this
Yeah,
point. And
I
Brian
hear
Adams.
ya.
All right. Well, great. I'm going to put you on hold. Don't hang up. Garrett will get your info. We'll email you the tickets, and you'll be next door to me because Brian Adams at the American Airlines Center, November 13th. Special guests Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. When I mentioned this concert in a previous contest, someone said Pat Benatar doesn't play Hit Me With Your Best Shot anymore because she's anti-gun. And I didn't know that song was about a gun. I thought it was about like trying to hit on somebody, not trying to, shoot them like they're ran out of food stamps and they're looting a Target. All right, that's going to do it for today's edition of Name That Artist. For the rest of us, if you want to get tickets, you got to go to livenation.com. Livenation.com. All right, we're going to talk about the Nazis that the Democrats won't condemn next on The James Show. News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. Hey, sports fans, James Parker here for the Prize Picks app. Now, I'm a football guy, and I do like other sports, but I am not so confident in my knowledge of other sports that I'm willing to put these people in my lineup. But you can take this sports expertise, this knowledge, your love of the game, take that and turn it into some real money with America's #1 daily fantasy sports app, Prize Picks. I've already got my lineup set for this weekend when the Cowboys are going to be taking on the Denver Broncos, and I just picked more on the statistics for the Denver running back. Some guy named Dobbins, never heard of him before, but this has been a good year to be a running back against the Cowboys defense, that's for sure. So that's all you do. You make a lineup of 2 to 6 players. You look at a statistic, you pick more or less on it. That's it. Then you watch your games, then you high five your spouse when it's done because you just won some money. So download Prize Picks, use promo code WBAP, and you get $50 in lineups with your first $5 lineup. So download Prize Picks, use promo code WBAP, get $50 in lineups with your first $5 lineup. Add a little bit of spice to the sports you're already loving with Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Hey, what was all that Nazi talk? It's the James Show, News Talk 820, 93.3 FM, WBAP. I'm your host, James Parker. I thought the media was obsessed with rooting out Nazis and fascists. I thought that was the number one threat to America. I thought that was the most dangerous thing possible. And I thought Nazis were all just horrible, and anyone who has any sort of positive things to say about Nazis or association with Nazis, they were all to be condemned and ostracized from polite society. Okay, well, what about the guy that's 34 points ahead in this election in Maine to be, what was it, senator or governor or something? Oh, well, what about him? Well, he has a Nazi tattoo. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. So what happens here? It's exposed he got a Nazi tattoo. He said he got it when he was in the Marines in Croatia in 2007. He was in the American Marines, not the Croatian Marines. They happened to be in Croatia. He just said, I didn't know that was a Nazi symbol. What? Really? You just found out? You just found out last week? That's weird. You've had this thing on your body for almost 20 years and you didn't look it up before you permanently put it on your body, and you haven't looked it up since. No one's pointed it out since. You haven't been in a situation where you're at the lake or at the pool or somewhere else and someone sees your tattoo because it's on his chest, and someone else sees your tattoo and goes, hey, buddy, did you know that's a Nazi symbol? Really? I don't believe you. Now, he's fixed it, though. He's fixed it. It got covered up this week, so, that means he's not a Nazi anymore. The fun part that you'll enjoy is when people are brought up in the media and asked about it. You're not going to hear a whole lot of this because, it hurts the narrative here. But Sarah Jacobs was asked about it. She's a congresswoman from California, and she refused to condemn the Nazi tattoos. Check this out.
But you think he should leave the race? Look, I don't know. The honest answer is I'm not in Maine. Now, I also believe that people can grow and believe in second chances. And I look forward to hearing what he has to say to really atone and amend for this.
Yeah, he just says, no, that's not what I believe. And now I've covered it up, because it goes against my core beliefs. Something you tattooed on your chest goes against your core beliefs. I don't believe you. Now, I do have like a little bit of soft spot in my heart for people can change and can be different people 20 years later. There's a lot of people who get tattoos of things that they regret later as well. But you think they would give Donald Trump that level of leeway? Do you think they would give you that level of leeway? You think they would give anybody on Team Red that level of grace? And think about this. You and I and a big chunk of America are all held accountable for the horrible things that people that look like us did, our community did, back in the 1800s. But this guy's not accountable for a tattoo he got in 2007? Sure, that makes a lot of sense. I thought Nazis were the scariest thing in the world. Oh, no, he's a reformed Nazi. Yeah, that's the ticket. So, I guess that's what they did with the Democrat Party. Democrats ran around doing slavery and Jim Crow and segregation and the KKK and Trail of Tears and basically every human atrocity in American history, opposing women's suffrage. But all of a sudden, they can take off their hoods, stop burning crosses just in the 60s. And now all these people are like, yeah, I'm a Democrat. It's great. It's fantastic. Okay, well, what about that kind of ugly part of history that's even more recent than the swastika and the Nazis? Remember, burning crosses happened after the Nazis were out of power, after Nazis were even a thing. So why are we scared of them but not Democrats? Why are they universally condemned but not the American version of bigotry and the party that supported it? Huh. That's so weird. It's almost like they're not really against bigotry. They're just exploiting the suffering that the Democrat Party caused for political convenience. All right, I got one more funny one here, and this is kind of along the same line. There's a little protester who was out protesting against ICE. I think this was in California. And while he's getting arrested, it's a short little white guy, kind of looks like Danny DeVito. He calls one of the ICE agents the N-word. Check this out. It's bleeped, obviously, but
There's nothing in my socks, dumbass. My feet are too small.
do you think I'm gonna put in there? God, you guys are f***ing dumb. What? Hey, what? Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me.
Oh, excuse me? Talk to me inward is what he said. Now, how do you get away with that? I thought that was another thing that's universally condemned. Anytime racism pops up, especially from a white person, it gets universal condemnation. That's so strange. Now check this out. Let's go to the local newspaper, the Oregonian, Oregon Live, and let's see if there's any racial slurs mentioned when this guy gets arrested. Let's see. Here it is. Oh no, wait. It didn't even get mentioned in the arrest. It says he is heard using a racial slur. Could you be more specific? Did he call an ICE agent a cracker? Is that what it was? Man, you get so much grace if you're on Team Blue. You can be a Nazi. You can be a white guy calling a black guy the N-word to his face while you're getting arrested for a crime. No condemnation, no riots, no protests. Sydney Sweeney ad. Now that's the battle scene from Braveheart. That's oh my goodness. Can you believe they're tolerant of racism? Can you believe this woman with blonde hair and blue eyes is wearing denim and hearkening back to shut up. No one believes you. All right, that's going to about do it for the James Show. Thank you very much for hanging out this week. In the meantime, over the weekend, if you need more James Show action before Monday at 2 o'clock, there's always the podcast. So go check that out, WBAP.com, the WBAP app. I also encourage you to follow us on social media. We have a lot of good stuff that we put up on Facebook and YouTube and all the other platforms. So go find us out there as well. Stick around. Mark Levin's coming up next. I'm James Parker. This has been The James Show on News Talk 820 and 93.3 FM WBAP.